Happy Sunday, everybody, and welcome to the Sunday Culture Review. We have some great panelists here today. We have probably some more on the way. I'm sure this will be a full house today, and I will do everything I can to facilitate that. First and foremost, I would like people to introduce themselves. We'll start immediately to my left with somebody you should already know, AFK Bard. AFK, how's it going?
Sup? It's going good. Happy Sunday, everybody. I have nothing going on, so I'm just here. Hey.
Excellent. Fantastic. Well, I'm glad that you're here. Next up, we have our very good friend, Wes Moody of the Wes Moody Webcast. How's it going, Wes?
It's going well. I just had my birthday celebration, my 1,000 sub celebration. I think we had, we may not have been as accurate with the count as we possibly, as some people might like, but we celebrated 1,000 anyway. And I have a watch party that I'm doing at some point later today. And so stay tuned to the channel for the announcement of that.
The uninterrupted watch party this time?
Well, it's too late. It's already been interrupted, but we'll pick up where we left off. We picked up right when it was getting good.
All right. Well, right below him is one of the editors and a really good guy. His name is Spencer. He works for Bounding Into Comics, and he's... No, it's very true. I enjoy you guys very much, and I love everything you guys do and what you write, and the stories that you cover, because it gives us, all of the other YouTubers on the planet, it's something to cover. I mean, you guys are pretty much leading the way, so I appreciate it. Spencer, tell everybody about you.
Yeah, well, first I'd like to say thank you for that introduction, Culture. It's fantastic to be here. I love talking to you every time you've shown up on the show and in DMs and stuff. So it's an honor and a pleasure. And Wes, I want to say congratulations to that 1,000 sub milestone. That's awesome. Aside from that, yeah, guys. Hey, I'm Spencer Vaculi. I'm the associate editor for Bounding Into Comics, and I'm just happy to be here.
All right. Well, thanks for being here, Spencer. Again, I do appreciate it. One of the first people I met, actually, amongst all these groups of humans, is this fella here, Donald Dollified. He is another member of Bounding Into Comics, and I don't even know. You're also an editor, are you not, or is that the incorrect title for you?
No, I'm just a writer. The other two, they edit all my stuff and make sure I sound on brand. But yeah, glad to be here, Culture. I managed to get out of Target and get over here. But yeah, ready to talk some business about what's going on in the socioeconomic landscape that we live in today.
Sounds fun, and we'll have plenty of that, because a lot of the entertainment stories we have today are going to be central around that. So, but thank you, Donald, for being here. Hopefully, we'll get some other folks to drop in here in a second. But let's introduce the artist of the bunch, at least the artist that we have right now, the very talented Machiny90 from Machiny Draws. What's going on, Mach?
I don't think I've ever seen a thumb that large before.
Sorry. Well, I just turned my mic off. Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are. My name is Machiny90, Artist Illustrated. Welcome you to the Sunday Culture Review for July 18th, 2021. Happy to be here, of course, with my usual friends of Wes, Shellback, AFK, and Culture, and then a very special pleasure to be on here with Spencer Bounding Into Comics, and I get a chance to hang out with Dollified, who is doing his best Matt Murdock impersonation. He's got the shades.
I don't have the red shades though, so.
Oh man, I had a pair of red shades at one point in time. I broke them. Kind of a bummer.
That's what happens with every good sunglasses you get. It lasts a while. You sit them down the wrong place, and then they break.
Yep.
Well, you sit on them, or they fall under your car wheel, or something like that. But. All right, Mach, well, it looks like you are doing very well with your first attempt at the Batman.
Yes.
I think it looks good. Can't wait to see it when you're done, guys. Machiny will be having his draw stream right after this show.
It looks so much better than Batman looks in Space Jam 2. Let's just put it that way. I keep giving Machiny all these great compliments, but they're such a low bar compliments. Like, looks better than Space Jam, better than Marvel. Like, it's just good, Machiny.
I was gonna say, to be fair, Space Jam is basically product placement. The film,
dude, it's bad.
Well, we will get there, guys. It's on the docket for today. And last but not least, There you go. There you go. Yeah, that was the only thing everybody liked, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Shellback, again, he's the last one we're introducing so far, but I'm sure, as I said, more people are on their way. Shellback, what's going on, my friend?
Oh, just here to provide some green representation and just wish everybody a fine Sunday morning. Well, at least it's still morning where I'm at. And I too am drawing Batman. Hold on. Oh wait! Oh,
hold it up.
Hold up! Oh, there we go.
Oh yeah,
nice.
Oh, dude,
that's an awesome. You know what? You could go work for DC right now. I'm just saying.
I think
they've got some okay artists still.
If Shellback were connected, he could sell that for $500,000 easily.
You turn it into an NFT. You got it.
See, I like Batman because he's smiling. He looks happy.
Exactly.
That's Michael Keaton's Batman, maybe because he enjoyed himself back in the day.
Well, I guess it could be the Batman that laughs, right?
I don't know, right? Exactly.
Could be.
I don't know. But we have a lot to talk about. I'm going to move everybody around again. We're going to play Shuffle People. There we go.
Musical
all right.
It's going to turn to Hollywood Squares.
All right. So like I said, we did definitely have other people on the way. We'll see them shortly. I'm highlighting everybody in the chat as they came in, just saying hi to those of you who have joined us. And do please smash the like button, as Brightest Day is reminding you all of. Mirrorsphere will probably jump in at some point with Minisphere, I imagine, for a period of time. Wes sent us a super sticker of a maniacal smiley face, I think. That was not right. Yeah, a maniacal smiley face super sticker. Thank you for that. Let's see, we've got that. It's a full house. Hail to the panel. Absolutely. Keck 44. We've got,
I was gonna say who's the John Stamos of this, if this is a full house.
I don't know.
That's Dawn. It's Dawn.
Yeah, it's definitely Dawn.
You think. Well, Karen Prime's in the house. Karen Prime, it's so good to see you. I'm glad to see you. Glad you're here. Angelus Draven is here, of course. Let's see. We also have Release the McCracken. Good to see you.
We always do that.
Hey, there you go. Wait a minute. Okay, so I let's have some context for the bell, Dawn. Tell everybody what the bell means.
Any kind of innuendo that happens to slip by through somebody's dialogue, the bell happens.
Yeah, or if it's anything, usually in our case, if it's anything spicy, he rings the bell.
I'm just glad he didn't do it twice, because that would bring back, some memories, and I might want to board a ship.
Yeah, but it's fun whenever. So I just had to explain for whom the bell tolls and why. So thank you for that. All right, let's see. We've got we've got a lot of people. Thanks for joining us, everyone. You've got your Muslim uncle here. Have you guys ever discussed openly the meme passed around by the SJWs that accused Bounding of just quoting from sources and then quote them later? Basically, FM regurgitation. I don't know. Have you guys ever heard of that? Has anybody ever accused you of that?
Oh, I know. Wait.
Hey, Thomas.
Is that comment talking about, let's see, accused Bounding quoting from the sources and then quote them later? Are you talking about like when we report on things like rumors from like Doomcock and all that kind of stuff? Yeah, we have lots of people. For anybody who's not unfamiliar, we do report on a bunch of rumors at Bounding into Comics. We do it because one, everybody's talking about them, and two, we do it in a way that sort of presents it as like, hey guys, this is a rumor, so if you come across it, just know it's a rumor. But we do regularly get accused of our editor John Trent. He gets accused of being the like Doomcock source for a lot of things. So people always accuse us of like, oh, John just tells Doomcock this and then Doomcock says it and then we report on it. So they just make up their own news. And it's not true. None of it is true. I'll give everybody a behind the scenes look. We stumble upon our news stories just like everybody else does.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing, and then of course you do occasionally talk to some people that like break some information for you. So
definitely.
I think that's kind of ridiculous. But we do have another member of the Bounding team in the house. It's Drew Taylor, the Spring Marathon.
What's up?
All
Oh,
Woo!
yes.
Culture, move me down so that you can have like the bounding row. Like
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
yeah, move me. There you go.
Boom, there you go.
There's your Hollywood
Yeah.
square.
Hey,
All right.
hey,
Well, we
Maki.
know that no Maki wants to be on the bottom.
Do you like me on top, Maki?
I think you bring. There you go. There you go.
Oh my.
No, I was gonna say though, to kind of piggyback on what Spencer said, we have as much a balance as any other publication out there because the stuff that we've sourced from our stories, I mean, yeah, we get story ideas from what's going on around the general sort of sphere around the web of news, but at the same time we have plenty of human sources that give us exclusives. So we don't, I don't think that we're skewing one way or the other as far as any other publication that's online. We're you would find that we're right there in probably the averages of what we do as far as information that's sourced in our stories. We're no different than anybody else. So with some of the ludicrous stuff that we get, because it doesn't matter what we write, it's almost guaranteed that we're going to get some stupid response from somebody. Because it always happens. Like the minute that the article comes out and we retweet it, no sooner does somebody come in like Vito, or somebody else and sit there and talk trash on it because it's just what they do, and that's fine. We love our haters. Hey, you want to be a hater? That's fine. But I guarantee you're clicking our article, you're reading our stuff. So it don't matter. We got your click, and we got you to read it anyway. So in the end, hey,
thanks for the free advertising.
It's a win-win, and we've got 36 people here in the chat. While you're saying something, it's funny when people get, I'm going to say pissy about rumors that are reported as rumors. I even shared a rumor that Pattinson and Zoe were, engaged in copulation on the Batmobile, and had a guy trying to say it wasn't a real rumor. Well, real rumor.
It's a rumor.
Listen, I'm gonna say this right now. Rumor or not, that's just straight up gangster.
Yeah, it is. Thank you.
And our friend Makini is going to have to take care of some business here because we have a Doomicorn sticker.
I haven't done that in ever. It feels like a long time I haven't done that. Okay.
Wow.
Thank you, Makini, and thank you, Bone, for the super sticker, my friend. I appreciate it. Also, you know what? Somebody else snuck in here with the mini sphere. It's the Mirrorsphere. Why isn't he appearing? Can you guys
Mirrorsphere bunch?
Yeah.
Disney.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh no, he's
Right
falling
on
into
the
the black
molecular
hole.
You get the Mirrorsphere family. Oh,
Yeah.
no.
He's in a black
Uh-oh.
hole.
He's not.
Yeah.
He's probably recalibrating his sources. So
Okay. Well, recalibrating his sources. Huh?
Yeah. If this were Trekking, we would say that he got lost in transport.
right, exactly, Wes. There you go.
High praise, Zach Morgan. This is what you would picture would be inside of a culture casino. Absolutely, this group of humans. I agree with you very much.
Representation.
Yeah. We don't screw you out of your money. Let's put it that way. We don't screw you out.
I'm trying to make it.
Yeah, right.
Sorry.
You always get
hey
lucky.
now.
You always win.
Hey now. Your Muslim uncle here follows up saying thank you. Normally those people get blocked or blocked, and we never hear the defense. I appreciate you talking about it, and now I can link this episode in defense of you guys. Thank you.
Well, yeah, appreciate that because listen, every single time that we put out an article, especially if it's a rumor story, it's guaranteed right in the title, right in our headline. It always says rumor.
Yeah, and I think that's responsible because there are a lot of sites that have always made their bones on rumors. I can point towards Screen Rant as chief among them. right? Of course, we have some new members. Thank you, Twisted Mind Collision, for joining. Thank you for becoming a member of the channel. I appreciate that. Rewards Club member. We also have Wes Moody upgrading his membership. He is now a Gold Club member.
Hey, Wes Moody of the Wes Moody webcast.
That's right. And let's do this. Let's bring in, again, the Minisphere and the
No, there he is.
There we go.
Sorry, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, you just went poof. I brought you in. You went bye-bye. That was great.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with it.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Noble Arrow. It's good to see you again, my friend. Let's see. But anything going on with you, Minisphere? I know you've been being a dad full time at 1,000 miles an hour.
Yeah. Not too much, but trying to do more gaming stuff with everybody. And
right.
Like that. Yeah, he's pretty much got my whole attention.
Adorable Minisphere.
I know.
Yeah,
mini
you gotta love
Minisphere.
it. You gotta
Absolutely. It's amazing. I mean, it really does look just like you. Really, Minisphere is so big.
I noticed it in the line of, okay, I was like, Luffy, Gandalf, Deadpool, Pikachu, and oh, baby.
There you go.
Those are the Phase 4 Avengers. That's who they're
That's
going to set
right.
up.
Yeah, that's that. Well,
that would be an epic crossover with Deadpool.
I think
It's coming.
That would be
I
an
think
epic crossover with Deadpool and Luffy of One Piece.
Dude, he's
Oh,
already crossed over with My Hero.
I think the baby would be the lead Avenger in that case.
Oh.
But anyway,
Oh, totally.
Oh, absolutely.
Kisame
That's America's baby.
Kisame Hashigaki, hello and hail. Good Sunday to you. Thanks for being in here. What did I say? All right.
America's baby.
You don't have the money, but yeah, that'd be cool to have cool points. It'd be a lot of fun. And Rob Altus points out that people have forgotten the meaning of the word rumor.
Yep.
And here's the other thing: people don't understand innuendo. They don't understand humor. I mean, you have a large and growing segment of the population that are essentially humorless because they have just. I think that's a possession of too much self-loathing. But that's an opinion. That's an opinion.
Well, you know, another problem that it is, CC, is what we like to call social media brain. It's social media mentality because on social media nobody gets context, right? So that filters down somehow to when they look at things and they're just they take it literal. And they don't read in context.
Exactly. Spencer, people are looking for links. My mods are looking for links for you, my friends.
Links. Channel link. I do not have a channel link, but you can link to boundingintocomics.com. That's basically, I'm there every day, posting everything up. So check us out there.
We're trying to convince Spencer to actually start YouTubing.
The thing is, I've started building it and creating everything. I just don't have the channel ready to go yet. So if I said go here, you would just see a bunch of weird test stuff.
Well, you can get subs.
But not with all the weird test stuff. Don't worry. It'll come on Wednesday. Wednesday, everybody will see it for the first time.
My test streams.
I started on this.
My test streams seem to be my biggest viewed streams. So I don't know. Don't knock the test stream.
You do not knock the test stream.
Not knocking it at all. I think people would want better content than me looking at Dragon Ball Z Kakarot going. Oh, did I
don't want to see that part.
Did I set that up right? Yeah, that's the problem with the test stream. I forget people are around.
There's people who are into that.
Yeah.
There are. But that's my OnlyFans, guys. Come join my OnlyFans for the content.
Only bounding.
Only bounding.
Yeah. So let's move on. The whole purpose of having you guys here was to talk about some of the stories and the stuff that you guys cover, and talk about some other stories that are similar that give them additional context. So let's get going. We're going to bring in the first thing, the first time ever I grabbed a story. There it is. Bam! Oh wait, I don't want to be this big. Let's do this. All right. Hey, do you guys recognize this?
Yep, we covered it. Yep, this is one of the articles we covered yesterday.
Bounding into comics. This is
hilarious.
We seem to get a lot of information from Bounding. They do their research. They go other places. They find things. So
let's
go
them
here.
a lot.
Hey, This is by the boss man himself, John F. Trent, on the 16th. It says Taskmaster actor claims her character is as strong and maybe even stronger than the male comic book version of Taskmaster. Mask
Taster.
Yeah,
Okay.
mask disaster. Yeah,
It's mayhem.
So in the comment section of this article, one comment phrased perfectly. What's her name? What's her name? Olga Kurylenko. She has never read a comic book in her life. You could tell that she's never read a comic.
That was Olga Kurylenko? Was Taskmaster?
Yeah, the Maxim model.
Yeah, are you kidding me? I saw
the
I
Bond
saw her
villain.
name. Yeah, I saw her
Bond girl.
name on the cast listing, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" I remember when I was 16 when Casino Royale came out or whatever, and I was all about Olga Kurylenko. I was obsessed.
She was in Quantum of Solace.
Oh, that's what it
she was in. Yeah, she was in Hitman with Timothy Oliphant. She's in a lot of stuff. She's a very good actress. She's stunning, right?
And
was
before Natasha decided to blow her up.
Well, it's for this film, right?
Yeah,
but the thing is this doesn't serve anything. Her opinion on here serves nothing. And one of the reasons that it serves nothing is because it took a team of stuntmen to play Taskmaster, which, fortunately, a few days after the film was released, we started to get that stuff that she actually helped to break. Yeah. And then you have the stuntman, I think his name was Tim Lister. Am I right on that?
Yes.
That essentially outed himself as the in-costume performer for Taskmaster.
And all they did was CGI her face.
Yeah,
horrible CGI.
All they did is the head. There's the comparison shots where it's the reveal scene, and there's a shot of Tim looking over, and then there's a shot of Olga looking over, and it's literally just a head swap. It's not a good job.
It's not a good head swap either, because you see the head kind of floating.
You do. It's weird.
A little off from the body.
It's
right.
Yeah,
and because it's Marvel, and they, for all the crap their writing has, at least their visuals look good most of the time. That's why it stands out so much. You're just that's. You guys did Endgame. Everything in Endgame is digital, and that's what you could pull off in Black Widow.
Right.
So let's let's have you read the context of the article, Spencer, since John's not here.
Yeah, let me go grab it. Let me pull it up.
Oh, well then I didn't mean to put you on the spot like that.
No, not at all. I'm not putting me on the spot. I just want to make sure I can quote everything right. So,
wait, he already has it. Okay, we're back.
Yeah, I'm ready to go. Do you want me to share it, or do you want to just?
No, it's up there. It's up there. It's up there. Cool. Yeah, it's up next to you. So. Yeah.
Oh yeah, look at that. So here's basically the context of this story is that Taskmaster actor Olga Kurylenko, or Kurylenko, I'm totally butchering it. I know I am. Recently discussed her taking on the role of a gender-swapped Taskmaster in the recently released Black Widow film. Kurylenko spoke with comicbook.com about the controversy surrounding Taskmaster. And basically, the first thing she says was, yes, the gender swap fits the story. Quote, you see, it does fit the story. I was concentrating on this story. The decision to change the character wasn't made by me, and as far as I'm concerned, I was happy for that decision, of course, because it involves me, and it's so much fun. Quote, and then she says, well, I understand that they swap gender, but I think it's irrelevant really whether the character is a female or male, because who cares? She's just as strong and maybe even stronger. It's not about what gender you are. It's about what your capabilities are, what you can do, how well you do what you're supposed to do. And if you're excellent at it, doesn't matter who you are. That was her quote during this, this interview with comicbook.com. And it's just, it's exactly what Culture was just saying. Why is Olga's opinion on this doesn't matter? It's clearly one of those inflammatory things that she said for this very reason, because there's a million reasons why not only does it not work in the context of the story, but it doesn't work in any context of anything. This is just, it's what's the word here? They're reaching to justify how cool this Taskmaster was.
Right. Well, and again, I mean, it goes contrary to the fact that they had to employ a team of stunt people You know, and this Tim Lister guy in order to pull off this stuff, right?
Stunt
I mean,
people or stunt men?
I mean, did you guys watch Nerdrotic's breakdown of this?
Yes.
Where
he lined up.
Where he clearly showed the assets of the male performer in the fight scene.
No, I didn't. I didn't see that part.
Somewhere in the midst, he goes. You know, he addresses the body part circumstance during one of the fights. So, but it's funny because if this is all true, if what she's saying is true, then why would you have men playing this character? I mean, you know, because that's counter to your narrative or what you're trying to present,
it's
right?
Because what my theory on it is that it's all, you know, we know Disney loves subverting your expectations. So to them, everybody watching the trailers and stuff obviously saw it was a guy. Like, it's got Taskmaster has a very big, like, broad build, and I think they did that because they get to have the male Taskmaster and all the advertising and everybody who is a Taskmaster fan can get hyped for it, or at least that's what they thought before they showed off the stupid costume. But then in the movie, they can easily just go, haha, helmet off. It's a girl. It's exactly as you have, or you had pulled up here a second ago. It's exactly what Eric July says, where these actors don't have any integrity because they're just, quote, playing a tokenized square role. You are not to be taken serious, and you took the gig, obviously, in hopes to advance your career. But all that activism crap is nonsense. You ain't talking about nothing. You ain't talking about nothing. You just take roles. And I think he's completely on point with this here because it is tokenized. Her being Taskmaster being a female has no implications on the story. Except for the fact that she can get mind controlled like the rest of the widows. That's
Well, the thing is that, and I think you pointed out in the article was that, and we pointed out is very kind of contradictory what Olga was saying, was that one, she said in one breath that it made sense in terms of the story. It made sense for the story to gender swap Taskmaster, but in the other sense, it was irrelevant. The gender swap was irrelevant.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, you're kind of. That's a contradiction. Like
this entire movie, I don't know how many sorry, I don't know who all on the panel and who all in the chat has actually seen Black Widow, but this movie is, I mean, first of all, it's bad, but this is the kind of sort of messaging they go for, is this really awkward, like, gender strength or gender doesn't matter while still making everything. It's a really weird thing. The villain's ultimate plan in Black Widow, he explains like, oh, you think you're special? I have a bunch of Black Widows all around the world that I can control at a push of a button. And she goes like, why? And he's like, so I could, and he reveals like, why did you choose girls? And he literally just says, because they're the world's most abundant natural resource. And it's like, what does that even mean? You threw that in there for some weird gender politic thing, and it doesn't make.
And I was like, I think Gary said it best. The villain was basically I don't want to say. I'll say HW, an HW type character. I can't say it on camera.
So AFK, are we okay to do spoilers? Have you seen it yet?
I haven't seen it. So.
No, AFK.
I haven't seen it yet, but I don't care.
Well, okay. So I saw half of it, and there's a specific part of the movie I dipped out in, and that's when they rescue Red Guardian, and so he says, "What are you on, you period?" Like that's the first thing the guy says.
I saw that clip.
After they rescue him, Gary actually opened his review with that, which I was pretty happy for, because that was
weird.
That was such a bizarre moment.
Then she's like, "No, I had a hysterectomy," and it's like, "What? What are we doing here?"
And she doesn't have and with Natasha saying she doesn't have ovaries.
Right?
Would you like to hear about my fallopian tubes? And I was like, "That's what I shut it off." I was like, I couldn't watch anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
like it wasn't even funny, and it contradicted like the entire thing from Age of Ultron, where Natasha's like, "I'm a monster. They ruined my insides. This is a big emotional, mental thing for widows," and for her, it's not. It's jokes time. Let's make jokes. I don't know. It's such a weird contrast.
Yeah, and Kai points out that Russia actually isn't very progressive when it comes to these things.
No.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
they're traditional.
Yeah, and Mikey Spock, unless the other two. Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I asked who would win in a fight. If Mikey Spock, Ray, and Taskmistress all got into a fight, who would emerge the victor?
Yeah, but
Ray,
there's
she
a
has all
problem.
the
But
power.
there's
Ray.
a problem. There's a problem there, Wes. And I said it before. You can't have Mikey Spock and Ray in the same place. That the universe would just implode in on itself.
Yeah, it would.
It's like you can't. It's like you can't. It's like what happens when you try. Like you can't split an atom. You can't have like two people from two different time. The same person with two different timelines meet. It just everything just implodes in on itself.
How is the universe going to give one person all the power if that one person is split into two? You can't do it.
Exactly.
That's true. I don't know. My money's on Mikey Spock
two of them.
because a 5'2" woman can kick a 6'5" Klingon's ass. I don't know.
Yeah. Did you not see Star Trek Picard where the small little Data daughter beat up like an entire what do you call it? Like unit of Section 31 Special Troopers?
Yeah. See,
I
forgot about throwing her in there.
Obviously,
Picard
Wes
stands next to an explosion and gets blown away, and he's like 90 years old, and he just stands up.
Wes, obviously
That's
you've
true.
not watched. Honestly, you've not watched the greatness of Batwoman, where you have somebody who is puny as like, Ruby Rose's basically build, able to body guys twice their size and twice their body mass.
And like it's so bad because like in the comics you have like I always think of Cassandra Cain. She's a Batgirl and she's tiny, but she uses that size to her advantage. She goes for like quick strikes. She like throws people. Batwoman rather doesn't do that. She just fights like a straight brawler. So your brain kind of breaks because you're like, this doesn't make sense. Like how is she just going blow to blow with like this brick crap house who's standing in front of her?
Well, see, that's why they need to do the fight sequences like the old Steven Seagal movies, because at least that was believable. Dudes would be running at him, and he just like use their momentum, make him look stupid. That's the way
they got to do new Steven Seagal movies where all he does is like this, and then they flip themselves like
super fast hand motion aikido.
I got you.
I think that Batwoman had entertainment value until she got the hair, because when she had that giant freaking head, I was like, what? Yes.
They can. I feel like they can never get bat helmets right in television.
No,
there's her helmet, and then there's the really bad one from the end of Gotham that looks literally just like a condom, and
it's terrible.
Oh man. Wow. All right. Well, let's move on, because we do have another article that feeds right into the Black Widow thing, which is actually about its earnings. We're going to look at some business stuff. That's the kind of thing I'm always interested in. So here we are. We have now. This story came out a week ago, but it's more relevant now because of some other things that we'll look at in a second on the next story. This again, bounding into comics, and this is a resource for all of us to use, which is amazing. But Disney and Marvel Studios tout Black Widow successes, reveal $60 million Disney Plus haul. This is the first time ever that a streaming service has released this kind of earning from a VOD product. The only other people to ever talk about it, and this was a strictly VOD product, was Universal's conversation around Trolls World Tour. So this is unprecedented, right?
Yeah.
This is unprecedented. So the Walt Disney Company and Marvel Studios touted their success, their most recent Marvel Cinematic Universe entry in Black Widow. In the press release, the Walt Disney Company and Marvel Studios claimed Black Widow earned $60 million from Disney Plus Premier Access. They also claimed that they earned $80 million at the domestic box office and $78 million at the international box office for a global opening weekend of $215 million. Looking at the Disney Plus Premier Access numbers, it means that 2 million Disney Plus accounts purchased Black Widow through Disney Plus Premier Access. Although it could be slightly less if you factor in taxes, that would push the total purchase of Black Widow over 30. That's true.
Did it?
Go ahead.
No, didn't it get like one of the? I wouldn't say one of the biggest second week drop-offs, but didn't it suffer a big, huge second week drop?
Yeah, that's
actually,
recent.
We are actually going to get there. I pulled another story that feeds right into that, and this is the reason that in fact your timing was impeccable. You did a great job there. Let's look at it. Okay, this is from The Numbers. It's one of the more reliable sites that you will find, and as you can see, if I know it's not big enough for easy reading, there we go. Hey, now you can see that with the first going into the first week, it was obviously first place at the $80 million domestic box office. Right? It was only at that time. It was only in 4,160 theaters. Okay, so that gives us the Thursday preview day, which is added to the Friday premiere day, and you end up with that $39 million number. You end up with a fall off of 41% from Friday to 23.3 million, and an additional fall off of 25% to 17.549. You notice these numbers are going the wrong direction, correct?
Right.
And so you when you get down here to the bottom after the first full week, you're only earning $5 million a day in those 4,160 theaters. But hang on to your hats, kids, because starting with the most recent day, July 16th, you jumped your theaters by 115. You added 115 more theaters, and you got a 60% bump from the day before to $8 million. But week over week, that is an 80% drop, right? Mm-hmm. Then you have on Saturday so far, you have a 29% gain from Friday, but you still are down 55% from the previous Saturday. And on Sunday, the projection and the numbers so far put it at another 55% drop week over week. So this film. This is the one question I want to ask everybody. Doesn't look like it has any legs, and it did have a staggering drop off, more so than any other film, because cumulatively right now this thing has fallen by 67%. So that is 10% more than the mean right now. Yeah. That we've had as a tradition. Pretty impressive or stunning downward trend, I would say. Donald, what do you think?
Okay, so what was the production budget for this film plus the advertising? So
$200 million, if I'm correct. Over $200 million, yeah.
Yep.
And they're going into their second week. It's only he'll be right back. They're going into their second week, and it's only making 137, and that's not even counting whatever the number they make up for their Disney Plus numbers.
Well, but Donald, here's the interesting thing. In the next story that I have pulled up, they talk about that. And because it's Space Jam, we need to get to the balance.
Oh God! Can I at least ask this question before we move on to the next article?
Yeah.
Now we've heard stories of what was it? Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker, and Solo getting that huge second week drop off. Do you think Black Widow second week drop off is in that ballpark? In regards to those kind of films,
it's a 10% bigger fall off than the average fall off for the first second weeks. So so that's so far. That number could adjust, but we'll have to see. But essentially, the second weekend earnings are a 67% decline from inaugural sales, and there's something bigger than that.
Right. Yeah, there's a big question about whether Disney is going to write Black Widow off because of pandemic, because a lot of these access websites, they're already writing it off as a great success despite the pandemic, despite the closures. Even the next one that we're going to go into, I assume, it's also being touted as a great success given the amount of things going on right now with
I would definitely argue that if it wasn't for the pandemic, it would have got that bigger it would have been treated like the second Captain Marvel Basically, it would have been treated with that much promotion and that much protection, like what we saw with Captain Marvel, where we had that talk about Captain Marvel hitting $1 billion, but there was talks about like empty theaters and such. It's like, it's.
I wonder if ScarJo's going to start a YouTube channel.
Well, I mean, it seems to be the way of things, right?
I would totally subscribe.
I would.
I wouldn't even have a second thought. Yeah, that's a.
Yeah, I think we all would.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing. But
ScarJo doing yoga, of course. I'm like,
taking yourself. That'd be great.
Wait, is it a certain
John's
kind of
realized some
yoga?
weakness, yeah.
you guys are way too thirsty for this stream. All right, well, let's talk a little bit more about this, but we'll add the additional context of another story that you guys wrote on the 16th. So let's bring that puppy up here. Bam! Space Jam: A New Legacy critic scores arrive. It looks really bad. Yeah, it did look really bad.
Yeah, but it
You don't have Michael Jordan.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing. Here's the thing, Culture. It did, it outdid Black Widow at the box office up to the point where LeBron himself went on Twitter to say hi, haters, basically.
It's Xi James.
Well, yeah, and you can always have your opinion, but since Spencer is back, we will dive into this one as well. So, Spencer, can you see it? It's on your screen.
I can absolutely see it. So, yeah, as everybody can see on screen, Space Jam 2: A New Legacy, the long-awaited sequel that nobody asked for and nobody wanted, is currently sitting at 36 from 100 reviews at the time of the writing of this particular article.
Wow.
Not looking great. And that is from critics. That's not from the audience yet. Critics haven't. But we have such amazing quotes as from Wenlei Ma at news.com.australia. Gave it a 2.5 out of 5, writing, "It's hard not to feel like you've been swimming in some WB marketing executive's wet dream for 2 hours."
Gosh.
Damn.
Can we get that one on like a bumper sticker? Because that could go for.
I know, right? If I could, I would make a tagline out of that.
Yeah, right.
It's so bad. But then of course you have the shills on the other side, which is like even more ridiculous, where you have people saying things like Graham Tuckett at stuff.co.new Zealand gave it a 3.5 out of 5 and wrote, "There is a very real sense that Space Jam: A New Legacy is a love letter to the movies and to the people who make them."
Oh, God.
No. What is most from Hagen Osborne at Film Inc. Australia? What is most thrilling about A New Legacy is the liveliness of the worlds created, with each destination carrying with it a varying style of animation that brings with it added freshness. Like,
oh my God. This is a kids movie. Why do they even need any of that?
You could tell that they had you could tell they wrote it as if the check was already delivered to them.
I am almost positive that this check, these pull quotes right here came in the memo line on their
it's clear. But the check's clear.
Exactly.
Wow.
Like, see this, like the central story about a father and son cuts through the excess, giving Space Jam a heart and a message that encourages staying true to oneself in the pursuit of passion. None of those words should ever be used with Space Jam 2.
Yeah,
passion, encouragement, being yourself, none of that. The entire point of Space Jam: A New Legacy is not being yourself. It's hey, do you recognize all these other things? We can't stand on our own identity as a Looney Tunes basketball movie. Do you remember Casablanca? Do you remember A Clockwork Orange? Do you remember Game of Thrones? Like, I don't know who this movie is for, by the way.
Well, speaking of Clockwork Oranges, I find it very ironic that you cut out a scene where, he's talking to Pepe Le Pew about hashtag the MET00 movement.
MT0, yeah.
But then, have a Clockwork Orange scene in a kid's film.
That's the thing. It's like, you've got A Clockwork Orange, and then you've got other things like you've got Mad Max, Fury Road.
But Pepe Le Pew is no. But apparently that's the.
I don't even know if anybody caught this, because it really flew under the radar, and I only caught wind of it like a month after it had happened. But there was some film animation, I think it's like a film festival that happened earlier this year around the time that Pepe got removed from Space Jam, or the news came out. And they Warner produced a film sort of reel, like a short animated clip to introduce a segment at the festival that had all the Looney Tunes talking about movies and stuff, blah, blah, blah. And they literally had to reissue it with Pepe Le Pew cut. Like, they showed it once, took it down, put it back up with Pepe Le Pew gone. And it's like, this is going beyond just this one moment. It's the cultural takeover, as it always is. Or pushing it to the side.
Yeah, exactly. So this one was fun by Warren this one was fun by Warren Cantrell from the Playlist. He gives the film an 83, Spencer.
An 8. It's a good time and boasts real heart, Culture. Can't you tell from the CG abomination that is CG Bugs Bunny?
I don't know, but this is funny. Trading on Roger Ebert still. Like that, it gives the film this Neil Minow guy gives the film a 75.
I want him. He should not work for RogerEbert.com. That feels wrong to me. That somebody who loved Space Jam or wrote positively on it works there.
Hey, whoever gave it a 75 would be a great teacher for somebody who really sucks at math and stuff. Like reading the homework, it's a fail. But you know what? No, we'll give you a 75. It's cool. We'll just push you through.
You get a point there.
Right, exactly. Oh, I've heard of you before. Here's your passing A.
Yeah.
Like that scene where they introduce Kaz and it's Rick and Morty. Like, oh my goodness. I just I don't know who this movie is for, because it's not for kids, because kids don't know Game of Thrones or Casablanca or even The Matrix, but it's also not for adults because what the hell is happening in this movie?
It lets further credence to the whole, we covered this at the start of yesterday's stream, and one of the things that I got a little heated over was the whole calling us weirdos for complaining that y'all want to change the design of Lola Bunny.
How dare they?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, if it doesn't matter, why
this is the hill I'm willing to die on. Okay,
I'm with you.
Yeah.
This is our Iwo Jima. We're taking this. We're gonna raise that flag. We're gonna raise that flag with old Lola on it.
Well, and you know what? Liger fan has a good point here. To be perfectly fair, Pepe is problematic, but the Droogs are totally fine. It's totally fine. Yeah.
Right.
Well, again, like you have the Droogs, you have the what are they? I forget what they're not Proud Boys, but they're the Chrome Boys from Mad Max Fury Road.
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Who like huff the paint, like they're in it along with like the rest of their crew, who are also those kind of people. Like that's the entire point of the movie. It's so
but a
weird.
cartoon skunk,
right? Exactly. So
it is across the line, apparently. Come with I don't know if it's irony or hypocrisy or both, or just
it's
tone deafness.
I think it's tone deafness. It's tone deafness and stupidity, where they, there are these moments where there are big uproars about some racist character that's made, and I'll give credit to the fact that it happens every so often. But then people see the reactions to that and go, "Oh, we need to be super safe to get all that money." So they start cutting out everything, even potentially problematic, just so that they don't get any sort of backlash, any sort of anything, just so that they can look into that star.
Question. I just bring it down to this. Look, and I know where I live, LeBron helped win us a title and all that, but I think I've always thought that he's a complete douche. And then his blatant sellout to China just turned me off of him completely. I'm like, forget that. If anybody ever comes to me, anybody that follows sports, if you ever come to me with the take that Jordan is not better than LeBron, get out of here.
Also, Spencer,
Jordan's still king.
There was also a huge outrage. There was also some huge outrage of cutting Speedy Gonzalez to where the Latino community came out and said, "No,
like what are you doing?
He's not a stereotype to us. We love Speedy."
Him. Yeah. Even his voice actor is Gabriel Iglesias, the
Iglesias.
Big, yeah, the big fluffy comedian. Fluffy.
Me and if Paulie Latino Slant, he was the first one out of the charge. He was leading that charge.
Right, exactly. But then even Fluffy came out and he's voice acting Speedy, and he's like, "Yo, leave Speedy alone. Like stop complaining for us. We love him. Leave him alone."
Right.
Well, this is still not an argument.
I mean, how could it be?
Yeah, I mean, and the best comeback ever is what Michael's statement to LeBron is every time this comes up. He should say, "What's Game 7?"
What's
Did he flop?
Or just ask him, how many teams did you have to go to get a ring?
No, that's what I'm saying. I was like, was there flopping? No. But yeah, exactly.
No flopping, right, exactly. I didn't want to get traded.
I didn't want to go and build a super team. I didn't want to go up down to Ivy. No, let's love the drug. Let's love the J. But I don't. We didn't want to go around for the purpose of just creating a freaking super team everywhere we go.
That's why we drafted Rodman.
I think. Anybody else think this whole movie was made just because LeBron James was jealous that Michael Jordan had a Looney Tunes movie? It was like, I'm better than him. I want my own Looney Tunes movie.
I think there was some subtext.
And they're like, yeah.
There might be some
subtext in there. I think you might be. I think you got a point there.
You might be onto something.
Hey, LeBron, you're never going to be better than Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan's the king of basketball, just like Elvis Presley's the king of rock and roll. You're never going to beat him. No one in history is ever going to be the king.
Yeah, if we were going to do a top three anyway, it would be Jordan, Kobe, and then LeBron.
Also,
what are you talking about? Dr. J? You're talking about what?
Also,
Magic Johnson.
I think something that everybody forgets about the first Space Jam was that it wasn't just Michael. They had a whole slew of NBA stars at the time. Dude,
that was awesome.
Barkley,
they have them in this one too.
They had Shaq in it, didn't they?
Yeah, but they actually had plot points.
That's right.
In this one,
the story.
In the old one, they
Patrick Ewing.
The exact same
Patrick
thing.
Ewing.
Like, they just steal their powers and make weird CGI abominations out of them, and it's still just it doesn't. So here's how the movie. This is how the movie goes. I don't know. Anybody care about spoilers here for Space Jam?
Oh my God!
No.
Don't spoil
Hey, don't spoil it for AFK. He wants to see. He wants to see
AFK,
Mikey Spock.
Yeah.
By the way, Mikey Spock's in this as well.
He wants to make sure Mikey Spock gets the final three, the go-ahead three.
So we haven't heard from a couple of people because we are all very loud humans. One of them is this fella here. Wes, you have thoughts here, buddy?
Wes.
Michael Jordan is the best and will always be the best, even if statistically somebody might surpass him. The way that he would just, there's a reason he was called Air Jordan, right? There was an artistry to the way that he played, and
Killer Instinct too.
Yeah,
it'll be the same for Tom Brady. Tom Brady's the GOAT.
If you could take these sports players out of time and place them all in their prime at the same time against each other, Michael Jordan, number one.
Oh, absolutely, dude. He could take them all himself.
I do have a controversial opinion on that. I didn't really enjoy the first Space Jam either. So
I don't think that's
it was about
exactly a great film.
It wasn't a great film.
A lot of it is nostalgia. A lot of it.
Yeah. It was about middle of the road, Wes. Yeah,
This is a strong take from El Punk Trace. Shaq over LeBron.
I agree. Shaq is number 3. LeBron is on the freaking list.
No, you got to be fair. You got to be fair to the talent. So that's why I will always I'll put LeBron in the 3 spot, even though I hate him.
Don't put him to the free throw line, and then you're fine.
Even though really and truly that year that we won the title, I could argue that Kyrie Irving won us the title with that.
Well,
shot.
sadly, Drew, when you go back to the classics, it's unfortunate because I've lost because even though I kind of put him in I wouldn't say I put him in the top 50, but I had greater respect for him. I lost all respect for Scottie Pippen.
Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen. So bad.
Let's do this because I haven't heard from this man in a while, the bearded wonder down here. What's up, Shelly? What do you think?
They cut Pepe Le Pew?
Shelly's really committing to that turtle bit. He's getting to the news from like 3 months ago now.
It's because he's French, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's it. But
I mean, the French are always. Never mind.
I mean, I'd prefer to keep that. Like, where's Deviant Pork? I know he's not here right now, but let's keep that.
Well, let's. Oh, Wes is in the wrong spot. Everybody, stop moving around. Okay. There we go. All right, here we go. All right, there we go. All right. So I want to say this. Thank you, Bruce Lombardo of Dick's Division, for the $4.99 super chat in saying, so is Shaquille O'Neal's Steel no longer the worst movie of all time?
Okay.
No, that's the list.
Let me answer this. Now, in terms of worst movie of all time, no. But in terms of worst films that star basketball players, I mean, between this and what was the film with Kevin Durant, Thunderstruck?
Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about Thunderstruck. Wow. Now here's the question: does Like Mike count because Lil Bow Wow becomes Michael Jordan?
Like Mike, I love Like Mike does.
Yeah, movie rules.
Hey, I'll tell you this: Shaq playing that genie was freaking awesome. I'm just saying.
Yeah, let's green egg and ham it,
dude.
Yeah,
that
I haven't
movie
seen
has one of the best deliveries of all time. At the very end of the movie, when the kid's like goodbye, like Kazam or whatever, and then he's like the genie, and he just goes, "You're my best friend," and then he like fades away, and it's so funny to me every time.
Right.
Isn't it sad that Kevin Garnett is the only one who starred in a really good movie as a basketball player?
Yeah, why can't? No, yeah, you're right.
To be fair to LeBron, he did guest star in what was that Amy Schumer film with with John Cena? Trainwreck. Yeah.
That was an Amy Schumer vehicle. That was the only thing that she's probably ever been good in.
And John Cena, well known for
China.
He actually went all the way with Amy Schumer. And that's
well, we can go miles on that one, but I'm gonna point us towards this. Pepe Le Pew, teaching kids to go after what you want and not take no for an answer is bad. But the Droogs doing awful things while H.G. Wells sings "Singing in the Rain" is fine.
Yeah, that's the problem with this movie is that there's no thought to it outside of like what that one review said, that this is a WB marketing executive's wet dream. They literally just went, what do we have? What can we? People like things, right? You want to consume thing? Here's
consume products.
Yeah,
don't ask, just consume product and get excited for next product.
I feel like they missed out on an opportunity with Pepe, instead of like this whole message of if you do something bad once, we're going to just chop you off instead of like giving you a chance. They should have just honestly have Pepe introduced in this movie a little bit more chill, and they'd be like, whoa, Pepe, you're a little bit different. And it's just fun. And maybe they learned that he actually managed to settle down with Penelope, that cat.
That would have been awesome. Actually, that would have been a good plot point.
Right? Like maybe she taught him to be cool and to back off
and to chill out.
A nice, more mellow guy.
I do like that idea. That's
the funny thing that people forget about Pepe was that there was a point they completely ignored the fact that Penelope went after him at some point.
He did. Or she did, yeah.
Wasn't there a Pepe Le Pew cartoon where the cat was actually a guy?
Mm-hmm.
Voiced by a guy?
There's one where just another male cat gets the same sort of stripe, and Pepe goes after him and doesn't realize that it's not Penelope, and the other cat the entire time is like,
Pepe's the best.
And then I think at the end, the stripe wears off, and Pepe realizes it, and you get that classic Looney Tunes ending where he looks at the camera and then runs away.
Well, Karen Prime, I'm going to say this: the rumor that scene in Trainwreck, I've heard that he and Amy Schumer,
Do I have to look that up?
I don't want to. That's a horrible sight.
Really?
I'm a man of culture, so I gotta do my research.
Culture review.
But I'm sorry, Dolified. As men of culture, we have standards. Okay, we have standards.
Real men of culture.
Exactly.
This is like, I'm a man of culture. I'm gonna go watch a snuff film real quick because that's art.
Whoa.
That's exactly what you're doing.
We have standards. Okay, we're not gonna.
Yeah, Don. I care about you. I don't want you to have to witness that.
Well, as long as it's not snuff, I mean,
it's snuff for your mind.
I guarantee you, Donald is looking that rumor up right now.
Yes, I am
looking it up. He has it bookmarked. He's ready to go.
You can see through his glasses. Look at
looking for this clip.
Look at this clip.
Robert Hammer says new Space Jam is the worst case of hey, fellow kids. Yes.
Oh man.
Well, of course we just.
I see. Kind of like that tagline is. Yeah.
Of course, today recently but we did have an entire month dedicated to basically hey, fellow kids. Corporations.
Yeah, seriously, that's all anything is anymore. It's just hello, fellow kids. It's not a bad strategy, I guess. There's a lot of people who never grew up, but F to that She-Ra crowd, go for it.
Welcome, Hot Chili Wrap. Good to see you.
Oh boy.
I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid.
I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. We do need a Pepe movie. I agree. Very low standards.
The Looney Cinematic Universe.
The Looney Cinematic.
Can we get a Pepe the Frog and Pepe the Pew movie?
Oh my God.
Pepe Squared and the world. I'm in for that.
Yeah. So they can troll everybody.
You don't understand the meltdown that we would have.
They tried to cancel Pepe. So
the tolerant left would have a great time with that.
Easy.
Oops.
All right, so here we go. Let's dive into the other story I wanted to talk about because it fits right into Space Jam because it's about Space Jam. A box office Space Jam, A New Legacy beats Black Widow in surprise victory. Was this really a surprise? A lot of people had already stepped out to say that Black Widow was going to fall off the cliff because everybody who wanted to see it mostly had seen it. And the people who didn't are going to see it this second week. So
I'm just surprised people went to see this one. That's my surprise.
Yeah, well, but it's not this. Look, the important part of this story is this part. Let's skip here, which sees LeBron team up with the animated Looney Tunes crew, dunked on the competition with 31.6 million in ticket sales. Is that something to crow about?
No,
it's a case of the tallest midget.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome to the current year.
I think that it's also needs to be taken into account that kids will be going to see this, and there's probably not as many kids going to see Black Widow. Like if some movie comes out on the weekend, the parents are probably more likely going to take them to see this than they would to go see the next Marvel movie.
I can actually, a lot of the parents I know that my friends and people I follow online, a lot of them this past weekend were like, oh no, my kids saw a commercial for Space Jam. We're going to Space Jam today, but I haven't seen anybody outside of culture critics like us, go and talk about Black Widow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and again, and even here, consider this film was in less theaters this weekend and it's the opening film and it's in fewer theaters than Black Widow, which expanded 115 screens going into this weekend. That's think about it. They picked up additional screens and yet they've fallen off a cliff. In fact, this story actually reiterates the thing that I brought up earlier. We'll bring the story back up. Where's
I hear the kids really, maybe it was the period in hysterectomy jokes, that turned people off from Black Widow. I don't know. not real big with the kids.
I think Monkey Jeebus brought up a good point. That it's the toys that sell because Space Jam you can get colorful toys of the Looney Tunes who kids love, and in Black Widow you get Frumpy Woman number 1, Frumpy Woman number 2, Frumpy Woman number 3, and Red Guardian.
Wow. Strong take. But anyway, but here's the thing. So from the story, the better than expected start for Space Jam 2 pushed last week's champion Disney and Marvel's Black Widow to second place on the box office charts. The superhero adventure starring Scarlett Johansson brought in $26.3 million in its second weekend, representing a steep 67% decline from inaugural sales. There you go.
I just don't get it though, because they're all blaming all of these access websites. They're all saying pandemic. This is the measure by which we are measuring success. However, if the pandemic wasn't going on, these movies would be failing in the box office. If these were the numbers that they were bringing back, because of the production cost, because of the advertising cost, because of like how much they have to pay these actors and these CGI artists and everybody that's on staff, it's a loss. Yeah. It's a wash. And I don't know if these companies are just saying, let's just release all these things and call it a wash. Let's write it off.
But here's they can't
around, right? Like this movie has been sitting around for like 2 years.
Yes, and that's the point. That's the point. This is $200 million dead dollars that have been dead for a year and a half, a year and 9 months from when they wanted to go. Well, not even that long. So they were supposed to release this May 1st of 2020. So it's been a full year and 2 months since this thing was supposed to drop, and that's a long period of time. That you were sitting on this film. You already made one giant promotion for it because you had a big old Super Bowl ad, right? And then they couldn't release the film, and then you turn around and you have to promote it all over again. Now consider this. I know for a fact that because of what iSpot was able to report, and I think it might even be in the article that I have pulled up here, that they spent a ton of money on promoting this Space Jam film. I want to see if I can find it in the article, but essentially, iSpot said that their big slam push was about $15 million in advertising for this film,
for Space Jam?
This Space Jam film, yeah. And I got to find these numbers. Anyway, so that's a pretty decent chunk of change, coming right into this last minute promotion, and they've already spent promotional dollars. But iSpot tracks the weekly ad spend. So you get a pretty good feeling for how much money they're spending on an advertising campaign,
right?
Because it's that's primarily targeting terrestrial audiences. So it's and then on top of that, this is the other thing. Space Jam is also available for free on HBO Max.
Yeah.
So we're in a weird place, guys, and I mean I don't know. I mean, are these films, because of what this guy here said, because of what Donald said, are these films going to be successful going into the next year and a half or 2 years, when the industry experts themselves say that we won't see a return to the same numbers until 2024?
If that, yeah. See, what I think it is on Don, like. Oh my gosh, I completely just lost my train of thought. Regular viewers of the Black Pill stream know this happens. Dang. Skip me. Come back to me, Peter.
Thoughts? Anyone?
Yeah, I think like with in Space Jam and in Black Widow's case, I think those movies will just basically be forgotten by next year.
Oh, for
It'll
sure.
just it won't have much of an impact. You know what I mean? It's not much of a lasting impact, no matter how much you promote it.
For either of these films,
yeah, there's no staying power.
Yeah, like this, like A New Legacy is basically just a giant ad, which is probably already dated by the time we're talking about this.
Exactly.
And then Black Widow is just like they shoved it in wherever it could fit. Like that movie needed to come out. Yes, that movie needed to come out right after Civil War when they placed it, because then it would have made sense. But nowadays, it's like, we know she's dead. What are we doing here? Like this is nothing. Taskmaster hasn't shown up.
This has got to be horrible for Disney, because essentially this is their measure of how they think these other movies are going to go in the box office. Black Widow didn't have a China release, right?
I think it did.
Black Widow
It's
did not.
still,
Not yet.
not yet.
Still
Okay.
hasn't. No.
So yeah,
I knew it was gonna get one.
Even though it passed if I'm correct, it did pass like the censorship censorship requirements
I read
in China. So
really, even with the skeletal Taskmaster mask,
there's no skeleton.
It's weird.
That's technically not. I think that's why they changed it, because it's all the ski goggles now, and all you really have are the teeth. Like I really think that's why they changed Tasky's skull. Because I've seen people with like motorcycle helmets that look more like skulls than Tasky's.
Well, also consider this. I mean, and I mean, this is just something that a lot of people aren't in touch with in China. But this film was releasing inside the window of the centenary in China, right? The celebration of the takeover of the bad human beings, in the Cultural Revolution.
Oh, that's right, the 100-year centennial.
For some reason, looks an awful lot like some stuff that might be mirrored around the world in some countries. Some that are Western in nature. And I have to stop there because I'm not making this political.
Right, exactly.
But I will say this, that that also interfered with it, because it interfered with a lot of things. And it's one of the reasons why F9 went when it did, because you cannot get in the way of the propaganda films. And I think that's something that people here outside of China don't understand. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but then so Disney doesn't have that China release date or that China number for Black Widow.
Yeah. Which is
what about those two movies that are just straight out not going to show up in China?
Yeah, that are just not.
Shang-Chi, the Eternals,
and they don't expect things to get back to normal until 2024. Plus, you got this thing that's coming up that's causing everybody in California, my region, to put on a mask again.
Putting them back on again.
So this is the Disney bean counters have got to be bullets for future productions and future releases of films, because this is not bode well in terms of profitability.
Well, you're right. And you know what, Kitty Bear, the film we're looking for is another Joker, which cost $55 million and grossed over $1 billion.
Yeah, and to be fair, Culture, it only grossed over $1 billion just one on marketing. One, thanks to the marketing, thanks to the negative marketing of everybody thinking that Joker is this. I don't know how to put it. This thing you have to be scared of, and everybody. It's like, we can't show this film because it's going to cause another accident to happen at a theater, because it's going to give power to these basement dwellers and such. But the incel, the sleeper incel violence. I'm trying to put my best to not get this channel to not get this screen demonetized. So
we'll leave it to me to do it. Yeah,
I'm trying to do it.
I thought we were allowed to say incel because incel is supposed to be an insult towards.
It's funny, mainstream media can say those words.
It's one of their words.
We get demonetized.
Yeah, AFK, you were trying to say something in the boys' talk.
Yes, go ahead.
Oh no!
Sorry.
It's just kind of going into that whole marketing thing of like how really you don't have to spend that much money in the first place if you do it right, but also in the sense that for the Joker, that is some of the best marketing is the stuff you don't even put effort into. Like they did it themselves by having all these articles written, all these videos like on the news and stuff,
go ahead. I'm sorry, keep going.
Oh no, that's it.
Okay, all I wanted to say was that was at the same time that they were saying all those nasty things about the film and all the have metal detectors and all that, there was a violent incident at a Frozen 2 premiere.
Yep.
So I'm just saying, let's put things into context, people.
Irony.
It's not films that do that. But Mr. Dragon makes an excellent point here, or actually, I guess, asks an excellent question, in my opinion. I wonder how Space Jam 2 will drop next week, 80% down or more. Predictions, anyone? You know what? Let's start with the bounding folks here. Let's give Spencer a shot.
What's up? Sorry, my internet totally just hiccuped. I don't know what segment.
No, the question is on the screen. It says, I wonder how Space Jam 2 will drop next week, 80% down or more. What do you think?
I don't know if 80, because 80 is super drastic, but I do see at least over 50%. After all these reviews and everything that, like, like the clips that are starting to come out now that it's been released are so bad that I think more people, like less people are going to go like irony see this or want to go see it in general. So yeah, I'm gonna guess like a 50, maybe 60%, but I'm being very, very generous to that film.
All right, yeah, I think you are too. My boy Donald here. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm gonna go a little lower, probably 45, maybe at most 50. The reason being, it kind of gets a kid feel to it, and those families are gonna they're gonna keep bringing their kids out to watch this thing so the kids can shut up. The parents might not like the movie because it makes no sense whatsoever and it doesn't reflect the original in any way.
But that's what they signed up for when they had kids.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
but kids run the world, so whatever.
You don't get new movies. You don't get good movies anymore when you're a parent.
That's right, Drew.
No,
your thoughts, buddy? No.
I was just, no. I agree. I just think that it's gonna wind up dropping like a lead balloon.
So 90.
Yeah, you think it's more than 80?
I would love
more than 80.
That.
Can I get a number from you?
I would say, all right. I'll go 83.
All right. Well, there you are. I think AFK. Your turn. What do you think? Care?
I almost flunked all my math classes, so my percentages and stuff are pretty awful. But I would say that honestly, I don't think it's going to be like a terribly sharp drop. Just for the sake of like how like Dolphin mentioned, it's got like that family feel to it. And honestly, like as bad as children movies can be, like how painful this probably is because I haven't seen it. There are still those kids that will make their parents watch it 3, 4, 5 times, and parents will watch it because they want their kid to shut up. So
that's true.
I feel like this movie will still be pretty popular for the next week or 2 or 3, even because it's summer, the kids are home, and you know you got to keep them entertained, and can't do that the same way. Like I'm gonna repeat, like by doing it with the Black Widow. So
you're 100% right there, AFK, and because it's free on HBO Max, I think that's also going to impact it faster than even Black Widow. Wes, your thoughts, my friend?
I don't think it's going to be as sharp of a drop off as Black Widow was. So I'm kind of with Dollified on that one as well. And I kind of agree that because it's targeted more towards kids than Black Widow, that people are going to want to shut their kids up, and so they will be taking them to see it. It's like, ooh, it's Bugs Bunny. Ooh, it's the Tasmanian Devil. That's just all they're going to see, and parents can be like, all right, shut up.
Quite
possible. All right, we're going.
Quite possible. Yeah. All right, our friend, the U.S. Navy, Shellbach. What's up, Shellbach? What do you think, brother?
I think that it's gonna drop enough. It's gonna just drop badly enough to where LeBron wants to be traded to another movie.
Oh, nice.
All right, and then of course the next person on the list here we're going to bring in is the Papasphere and the Minisphere. It looks like just the Papasphere at the moment.
Yeah, he's asleep. Oh, I don't know. I feel bad for anybody's kids who gets forced to watch this. I will not. I love my kids. I'm not going to force them to make fucking LeBron James to anybody. Dude. Hey, they got the original Space Jam on HBO Max. I'd rather watch that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But yeah,
you wouldn't know the
get
difference.
Baseball in that movie. You get two sports in that movie.
Well, and I'm going to bring in, of course, Machini. Machini.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're talking just box office, right?
Just box office.
And considering that Jungle Cruise is coming out next week.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to say say at least 65%. At least. At the very least, because somebody brought up in the chat that Jungle Cruise is coming out next week. The Rock draws in a crowd. I expect at least a drop.
Okay, I'll update my number. 75.
Yeah, because Jungle Cruise comes out next week, and you know, a lot more families, especially with kids, are going to be more enjoyed watching whatever The Rock does and whatever LeBron does with Bugs Bunny. Just saying. So I'm saying 75% at the very most.
Yeah.
You know, that's a good point. But they also technically are in two different family categories too, because like the Rock is a general family, and the Space Jam is like kids 5 and under. You could just shove them in front of a TV, kind of.
But then like the other one is like, oh, the in-laws are in town, or your aunts and uncles are visiting. What movie could we all go watch?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But also,
everybody loves The Rock. Disney, it's a Disney movie.
So another thing to also expect when it comes to the Jungle Cruise is that people are probably going to be expecting the same thing that we got with the 2 Jumanji films. So there's certainly kind of another Jumanji with Jungle Cruise. So that's why I'm thinking Space Jam is going to probably get it at the most a 75% drop.
They're expecting Pirates level.
There'll be those fans keep going. I wonder if they'll have the Tiki Room, or they'll have this because it was on the ride when I was there.
Wait. Hold on a second. It said, let me double check that. That is...
I don't even know what this movie's about.
Oh, Jungle Cruise is okay. So Jungle Cruise is. Is this
like Jumanji style, or is it like, I don't know?
I need to double check this.
I know it's got.
Oh, it is okay. Okay, so it's July 24th in the Disneyland Resort, but July 30th everywhere else. So it's going to be. So I'm guessing so I think Space Jam's got room to breathe. So I'm going to drop my prediction from 75 to at least 50%.
Well, okay,
because it doesn't have to deal with Jungle Cruise next weekend.
And it is coming out quickly, so it really only gives like a full week of breathing room for Space Jam. But Makini, are you getting ready to set sail?
Okay, all right. Speaking of cruising, I gotta cruise up out of here for my show Makini Live. So anyway, guys, we are going to continue the Batman drawing on Makini Live in a little bit, so go ahead and check it out over there. Some of y'all will probably drop the link for that stream. So anyway, it's been an honor. I will see you guys over there. Have fun, everyone. It's a great honor to meet Spencer and get to hang out with Dollified again.
Yeah, dude, it was great to meet you.
We gotta get back together. All right, much love, guys.
Peace.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there we go. Okay, so this is a really interesting thing because I haven't given my answer. I think it's going to drop to the mean. I think it'll drop 57% next week. I think that'll be week over week. It'll drop 57%. It will not have as precipitous a drop as Black Widow for the reasons that Donald, outlined, right at the beginning. I mean, it's a family film. So, I mean, you literally are going to be able to take your family to this. Or if you're strapped for cash, like some people seem to have ended up with, you're going to save some money and go see Jungle Cruise the following weekend. So it's hard to say. There's some, Zendaya or whatever. Zendaya is voicing Lola Bunny, which is different, I think. I mean, despite the fact that I believe the voice actress is still available.
Well, not only is she still available, they recorded it. She did everything for Space Jam 2. And then when they swapped directors and they brought Malcolm D. Lee in, he went Zendaya instead. Let's get Zendaya for that. So there is a Kathy Sooth cut. Release the Sooth cut out there.
That's amazing. So we're gonna have to ask for release the Sooth. That sounds
release
good.
The Sooth.
Release the Sooth. Angels Draven says, it just looks like Pirates with a new coat of paint and a new name. Well, not quite. Again, I have seen many clips from this that aren't in the trailer. I had a very positive feeling about it. I would like you to think of it more like a Romancing the Stone kind of an interaction. In fact, it's even being marketed properly. So I feel like that might. Yeah, I feel like that might work. So we'll have to see. Anybody else
anything about it? There's no Rock thing.
Okay. All right. Well, fair enough.
I think there's nothing wrong. Like when you say like it looks like it's going to be Pirates again. To me, maybe it's just where we are nowadays, and the fact that everything else is crap. That sounds kind of refreshing to me. I'd love a Pirates level type or even Pirates-esque film because at least that was just a fun adventure. There was no ramming things down your throat, no trying to promote certain actors, no nothing like we get nowadays. So I'm with Culture on this one. I have a pretty optimistic feeling towards Jungle Cruise.
I think I read somewhere that there were some executives hoping it would take off like Pirates, that it would spur a bunch of films.
I mean,
that's the plan. That is the plan. They are trying to turn it into a franchise. There's no doubt about that. They have a couple of those releasing in the next 12 months, and Jungle Cruise is one of them. So, and just to round out this, Monkey Jeebus, you're not wrong. They will attempt to not compete with each other in given periods of time. So yeah, and you'll also find that a lot of times, films will hold their ground if they're coming up on a quarterly where they have to report some serious numbers. So then it becomes a game of chicken for these corporations for these films, just so you know. So one will move. But for the most part, they do try to give themselves at least a 2-week berth. For these bigger tentpole films or more expensive ones. And again, another giant budget film in Jungle Cruise is on the way, so we'll have to see. Space Jam might end up being somewhat profitable, but Black Widow isn't going to be.
Black Widow not only dropped off now, but the big competitor for this upcoming week, where Jungle Cruise is going to be shown at Disney World, like you guys said, the big competitor this week, the new one, is Snake Eyes, which won't eat into Space Jam, but that's definitely going to eat into Widow. Like, that will absolutely eat into Widow.
Yeah, but I mean, I think this was not the time to release Snake Eyes because I believe that it's going to tank hard. I don't know. Donald wanted to say something. Look at him.
No. I think we have with every profitable movie that's going on right now, or being touted as a profitable movie, you got to put like an asterisk mark as a pandemic profitable.
Yeah.
Right.
I know, like last year's like awards and whatnot, this was the best movie of this year, and it's like, the bar is really, really
the bar is
low
super low.
Yeah. No, the other movies don't even look a tad bit interesting. Like Snake Eyes would have been cool if it was Snake Eyes, not
if
some
it was actually
right,
but an actual character that we want to watch, not their shitty Snake Eyes.
It's kind of like the movie that should be at the tail end. Like there needs to be movies that get the hype up again, that start pulling people back into the theaters that are like big, and then you start releasing these other movies, and people who are used to going to the movies will like. I feel like this movie would probably do better if they waited, because there aren't enough people going to the theaters in the first place. So if you get enough good movies out there, and then more and more people who are comfortable with going out, they'll be like, dude, check it out, there's a movie poster for Snake Eyes that's coming out, well, let's go see that or whatever. So, I don't know, at least
I don't know anybody who's
I'm not gonna see that movie. No.
Gosh, I don't know. I mean, I feel like theaters as an experience were kind of on the way out until you had places like Studio, Movie Grill, and IMAX. And that was really the only reason that I would go. I mean, when I went to go see a movie, it had to have to really be something I was interested in to get me out to go to the theater.
Yeah, you know what? You're not the only person I've heard that from, Wes. To be honest with you. Hey, Darren, it's good to see you, my friend. Thanks for coming by.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Wes does. I mean, I would go to because we got a drive-in close to me. I would go there, but I would really have to want to see a movie to go there, or to go to a traditional theater, because I don't know. There just wasn't a lot of movies that would hit my fancy, even before everything was woke. It was just I was really picky about what I would see in the theater, and or I was going for a date, because I mean, still going to a dinner and a movie's like the layup of dates, So
yeah,
right.
God, I think the last movie I saw in the theater was Ford versus Ferrari.
Oh man.
Yeah. I think the last movie I wanted to see in a theater was Avatar.
Oh wow!
2000, because there was something visual being presented on the screen that you just couldn't get anywhere else.
That's
like
true.
Avengers Endgame, you could get that on a big screen TV with a wide aspect. A lot of the Marvel movies are just pretty much the same kind of standard fare in terms of what they did for filmography. Avatar, they presented that 3D environment. They presented this wide aspect that just brought everything out from the screen, where you saw like a mosquito flying across the screen. You thought it was right in front of you. That's an experience that I think a lot of these theaters just need to bring back and bring to the customer again. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen within 24 years.
They're gonna have to, they're gonna have to figure out how to get people back, and it's a pretty simple formula. I think right now there's a bunch of stories that are being worked on that will eventually be turned into films. That's 3 to 4 years down the road, right? So you won't see stuff that will reflect things that people are interested in. For the most part, you may get the occasional one now and then, but for the most part, you won't see them for 5 years. Don't count on it. It's going to be 4 or 5 years away before you're going to see something that will engage you the same way movies used to. And that's just the way it is. So in a way, maybe the industry analysts that are looking at that 2024 number are being a little too optimistic. And maybe they're realizing that what they're marketing does not sell. So notice what 2024 lines up with, guys. There's a cycle that happens in this country every 4 years.
A certain event.
So,
Yeah,
sorry.
We just had one of those. Yeah,
that's exactly what it is.
Another pandemic. No, not that. Sorry,
Ryan.
Well, I guess it depends on how the other event in 2024 goes, whether or not we get another one of those. Yeah.
Oh, the Delta.
I think we'll be like on Epsilon or Gamma at that point. I don't know.
We'll be on Delta 2.
Yeah.
Omega.
We'll be on blank 23.
No, I don't want to do this.
Yeah. Will the event be fortified?
Yeah, it'll be a massive fortification.
Yeah.
Here, I'll change the subject. 9/11 was an inside job.
7-Eleven.
Can I just say, as far as Monkey Jeebus it goes on that, like, I think he brings up a really good point that I think might have been missed for this movie, is that G.I. Joe's originally was basically made to sell toys, right? And it was very character, like everything was a very specific character that you had for your toys. And so that is what G.I. Joe was. And now to go and basically change all of the characters around to just be Joe Schmo, who has the same ability, basically. It's like, that's going to sell it, because those aren't the movie and they aren't the toy, which is basically synonymous, the same thing. And so I just think like it's going to, no matter what they do, it's going to fall on its face. And it's the sad part is that I don't think the company's going to realize that that's the reason why it failed. Like
they'll blame something else.
The problem for everything that they're making right now is like they're trying to sell something that was very specific, and they're changing everything about it and being like, well, the reasons why this failed, there must be something else.
Well, but that's the thing. I mean, and even they have a handful of executives at these companies right now that are out on this limb, and there are people that are willing to saw the limb out from under them. So you may get to see that, especially if we start to take a close look at how we can remove funds from these hedge funds that are controlling these boards of directors in these corporations. So, but I don't want to get into the political side of things. Like for the 100th time that I've said I didn't want to. Indiana Jones 5 director James Mangold lies about his temper tantrum and attacking fans. Looks like this was another John article. You know what? Donald hasn't read anything. We're going to make Donald read.
Ooh, called on by the teacher.
Let's get the big guy up here. There we go.
All right.
Remember in school when you would read something aloud and there was like a swear word and you never knew if you were okay to read it? It was like a daunting moment, like it's coming up. Oh no.
Oh, it's coming up.
Oh, I said it. Oh no.
All right, so
remember Huckleberry Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, that being a
Yep,
problem.
exactly. That actually got me in trouble in school.
I feel like it put Spencer on the spot, and that wasn't my intent. Yeah,
I'll bring it up
so
on my end too.
This was written by the Boss Guy, and I thought it was interesting because it does point out that these people are willing to lie at every turn about everything, and it makes no sense to me because you can easily be proven to be spreading a falsehood.
No, so I talk about this a lot on our Bounding into Comics live streams every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. This is what these sorts of corporations and people in this mentality do nowadays. They don't care about continuity in any sense, whether it's your stories, whether it's what they believe, whether it's what they said. These sorts of people who are so social media poisoned, they will say or do whatever in that specific second will get them brownie points, even if they're directly contradicting what they said or they're lying about it. Look at Kevin Smith and He-Man. Look at what we're about to talk about. Look at all of Star Wars and Marvel. This is just what the media narrative is now. It's not about whether you have a good product or anything. It's about literally signaling how good of a person or a corporation you are to get those brownie points, to get that money. So that's why it's awful. They do not care. They know what they're doing. They know they're lying.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. Well, let's get our friend here in this story right here.
All right, so anyone unfamiliar with what's happened with James Mangold? So go off of what's being written here. Indiana Jones 5 director James Mangold recently lied about his June temper tantrum and his attempt to attack fans. So you recall on Twitter, user Matthew Caddish, I guess he's verified now. He's got the blue check.
Yeah. Thanks to the attack from Mangold. Yeah.
Wow, good cat.
Monetize your hater, baby.
So he posted his concerns with the upcoming Indy 5 film on Twitter, saying, "To anyone who thinks Indiana Jones 5 might be good, let me point out one, Steven Spielberg is not directing. Kathleen Kennedy is producing. Harrison Ford is 78 years old, also injured. And he won't be back for quite a while on set.
Freaking Weekend at Ford's over here."
And then this one, written by Jonathan Kasdan. You recall that in that Twitter spat, Mangold shut that one down. But he talks about it saying, "Thanks, Matt. Keep making the world a better place, crapping on things in the first week of production from your basement. Never seen a script by John, nothing against him, just reality. Butterworth and I started from a blank page. 1 through 3 are hugely talented and all at my side." And anyone can, I think those tweets are still up. He didn't delete them yet, right?
I don't think he has.
Okay. Now, what month are we in? Mangold is denying that he claimed Kaddish lived in a basement in response to Twitter user Verbin's own misgivings about the Indiana Jones 5 stuff from June. Verbin wrote, "Except James Mangold commenting on people criticizing him living in basements, I'm holding judgment on this indie movie. This one was a disappointment. Solo was a disappointment. Before we know, this may be a turnaround for the franchise and the director." Mangold responded just a couple of days ago by denying that he said his critics live in a basement. Yeah, I never said people who criticize me live in basements. People criticize me all the time and don't get such comments. I think you know what caused me to reply to a specific clickbaiter the way I did.
Wow.
And I said, "I'm sorry if in my anger I spoke too broadly." Mangold said he never really apologized, although he seemed to be conciliatory back in June when he wrote, someone replied to my address, "You should be able to vent, Matt. I thought you were a pro blogger. To me, there's a difference between fans and people with shows. Next time I will try to hear you out with and just correct the facts." First thing Mangold says to me, said Kaddish, was that I was a basement dweller. Ryan Kennel also responded to the lie, saying, James Mangold, no, you did not apologize for what you said. You were lying about it. And you are also trying to spin this. Nobody said that you called all of your critics basement dwellers. What happened was someone criticized you, and your first response was, wow, enjoy commenting on this from your basement. Yeah. So it looks like Mangold's back on Twitter being mangled.
Just swinging all the time, yeah.
Yeah, and that's a real problem because it nobody seems to learn from these mistakes. It gets incredibly disappointing and frustrating. And yeah, I mean, you guys have a bunch of other stuff coming up on the horizon. I know, that would kind of. Give us some reasoning behind why he flipped out that day. I mean, they're having some massive production issues, with this film. I mean, it seems like, when Kathleen Kennedy is in charge, there's some problems. And it seems like Harrison Ford is being, used for, I don't know. He's like old man test dummy or something because he's getting injured on the films that he's doing right now.
Honestly, they make it sound awful, but I'm not trying to be ageist, but I swear to God that he's probably hurting himself in the most mundane ways. I swear to God, my mom stubs her foot every goddamn day, and she probably breaks a toe. And I'm just not surprised at it at this point because of her age and her coordination. Right. I'm not going to be surprised if he didn't just accidentally catch his shoulder on a wall while he was walking by.
But that's the thing too. When this story was originally dropped, when it was first reported, they reported it like he was injured. And again, I'm not going to be ageist at all. As I get older, I lose some skills. It's part of getting older.
Yeah, it happens to everybody.
I have to work hard to retain some of those skills so that my older age doesn't super suck. But when they first reported this story, and this is something key to remember, they reported it as an injury during a practice for a stunt fight on a train. That's how it was reported. Yep. Now they report it as during filming. Now, you can film practice all day long, so it's not necessarily them lying, but why? This is the big question: why would you change the story as the studio, right? From practice to filming, the reason is insurance.
Yeah.
There is a certain amount of insurance that is levied on all of these things, including the actors and actresses that are on the site, and the production overall is insured, so that if they are incapable of completing the film, it's not a complete loss. Right. So if it's in service of filming, that probably changes something as far as the insurance goes. Now, I am speaking speculatively when I say all those things, so we will frame it that way. But maybe that's why the story was corrected, and that's the problem is because we don't get information directly, and it comes out in drips and drabs instead of whoever it is delivering it themselves. We end up with a lot of speculative things, right? And that's not a good place to be, especially if you're going to have to go up against an insurance company who right now, insurance companies are in battles with unions, with film productions, television productions, and all that right now, that the insurance companies will fight tooth and nail not to pay. Okay, so just consider that there's harm that could come to some of these productions. So,
it's not the age. It's not the age, sweetheart. It's the mileage.
Well, maybe that's true. And our friend Fat Steven Seagal with a Canadian $2 says, "Hail, bounding crew, boxers and briefs." What's going on, Fat Steven? I halfway expected you to.
Boxer briefs, bro.
Oh, boxers
They
are
give-
briefs. Oh, I'm
They
so
give you,
sorry.
they give you the best of both worlds. Boxer briefs. Look into
There
them,
you go.
Or none at all.
or none at all, or those new ones
Wait.
that have like certain pockets for your stuff.
A pocket for your stuff.
Yeah, I've seen ads for them. So it's like normal underwear, and then I guess it's like a reverse thong, and you got pockets.
Sorry.
I've seen those. Yeah.
You know,
It's all the rage.
Harrison Ford was recently in an F1 garage, according to reports at
I
a
saw
race.
that.
Yeah,
I saw somebody talk about that. Definitely got to look into that.
yeah. They respond like it.
He's so old.
Yeah, and
Just
Rob,
leave
you're
him
not wrong.
alone.
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, this is about the point where we start to wind down at an hour and 45 minutes. I want to give the Bounding guys, all three of them, my thanks for being here, although Drew is here regularly. And we will go out the same way we came in. So, Spencer, since you're on the screen, you're up, my man.
Yeah,
So,
awesome.
yeah.
So first of all, I'd like to thank Culture for inviting me today. This was super fun. I am a regular watcher, and it's awesome to actually be on the panel for once. Aside from that, I'd like to thank everybody in the chat for stopping by. Everybody on the panel, it was great to meet everybody, except for, of course, my Bounding buddies. But no, it was like AFK Bard, Moody, all of you guys. It was fantastic. Is Shellhead around, or is he still catching up? Aside from that, you can catch me daily on Bounding into Comics, throwing up articles, the news, the best news source for all your entertainment needs. And yeah, aside from that, you can catch us, me, Don, and Drew, and our big boss man, John Trent, Wednesdays on our channel, the Bounding into Comics YouTube channel, for our Black Pill stream, where we kind of do this sort of thing. We kind of break down the news of the week, talk about what's going on. Just good old fun time. But aside from that, yeah, thanks for inviting me. It was super fun. And yeah, it's great.
Appreciate it, Spencer. Now, of course, your other partner in crime here, Donald. What's up?
Hey, like Spence said, thanks for inviting me on. And I'm rarely on any kind of streams nowadays other than the Black Pill stream, because life has gotten busy for me. So on Bounding into Comics, you can see my stuff semi-bi-weekly. It depends on what kind of time I have in the day to get that going.
That's two bell innuendos you didn't ding.
Yeah,
he doesn't do it for himself.
I regularly do it for myself.
This is not a quality.
But yeah, check out our stuff on Bounding into Comics. I'm not going to promote myself too much. I'm just
all right.
I'm here for the boys.
You guys are amazing, and of course the third member. And again, I'm blessed to hang out with my good friends. But here's a member of Bounding into Comics I hang out with regularly. My very good friend Drew Taylor, the Supreme Heretic, who I hope is there.
No,
he's muted. Excellent promotion by Culture.
I'm Drew. All right. I'm awesome.
Hey everybody, you can catch me and I do no, I didn't. That's not a good Drew. Darn.
That's not a good Drew. So we're going to go ahead and have Shell.
You can catch me on my channel, Supreme Heretic.
Oh wait. Let's have Shellback go through. Maybe Drew will get back here.
Well, I just like to say that I've had fun hanging out with the Bounding boys. Drew, Donald, and Spangler. And it was just a fun Sunday, and remember to tip your waitress.
There you go, absolutely. And tips make the world go round for sure. And then of course we're gonna bring up the Mirrorsphere, which looks like Mirrorsphere is frozen. Mirrorsphere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey everybody, this is Mirrorsphere, and no.
I'm writing a book, and it's gonna be good. And check out my streams when I'm not busy being a dad to Minisphere.
Yeah.
There you go. Wow, we have two people that are you Drew? Are you back? There's no Drew. All right, well, that puts Spencer back on the screen. That's crazy. All right, well, let's do my buddy Wes Moody of the Wes Moody Webcast.
Hello, everybody. Well, thank you, chat and panel, for having me on. It's always great to interact with the best chat on YouTube, and we love you. And so I guess I should probably announce I'm going to be back on Comics Division's Monday stream,
awesome.
so you can see me there tomorrow. And of course, on my channel, we do Trekking on Tuesdays at 8:05 p.m. We start on YouTube, and then have lately been transitioning over to Odyssey. And then, of course, whatever Wednesday, where we absolutely have to transition over to Odyssey because we talk about, the thing we're not supposed to talk about, and then the other thing we're not supposed to talk about.
The things. Can't talk about the things. So it's bad. It's bad.
Yeah. So we hope to see you there. Well, it's not bad. It's just the decline and fall of Western civilization, which is what we always talk about on whatever Wednesday.
No! Now you're gonna send Big Disney after us.
Wah, wah, wah.
All right, thanks everybody.
Well, thank you very much, Wes. And of course, we have AFK Bard, who's been another one of the original members of my panel forever and ever. Thank you for being here, AFK.
Oh, thank you for letting me reload off you guys all the time. It's always a pleasure. I had a great time.
It's not freeloading, and I appreciate you being here. And I always have a good time. And I'm going to do something rare. I'm going to put myself full screen and say this. Thank you guys all for being here. Be sure to check me out on the 17 other streams that I'm on that are not on my own channel, as well as the 9 streams that I have on my channel every week. So you guys are great for supporting me. I appreciate it. We have a couple of probably 2 analytical videos that will be coming out this week, and I can't pick which one is my favorite at this point. So I'll get one recorded, and it'll get released tomorrow, and I'll get another one recorded for Wednesday. A little bit deeper dive into some things, and it looks like Mirasphere was able to pop back in.
Yeah,
looks like we were able to get Mirasphere back, so I'm going to go ahead and see if Mirasphere would like to say bye-bye.
Yeah, guys, you can check me out, the Mirasphere Origins, and sorry about that, my internet crashed again. I'm trying to do stuff with Final Fantasy 14 and Minecraft, and when I get a chance to, and I got to start doing some reviews. I just finished all of the Legend of Drizzt books from the Forgotten Realms series, all 30 plus books. So I'll be doing a review over what the story as a whole and what I think about it, and my favorite story of all time. So I'll be doing a review of that hopefully soon, and still working on my book. So yeah, we gotta hit it. Me and Culture gotta hit up sometime, and
that's right. We gotta get together. It'll happen. We are both busy people right now, but absolutely. So, looking forward to it, man. And then one more try to see if Drew's here. Drew. All right. Well, do check out Drew Taylor and Drew's channel. Drew and I do the Pegasus Actual podcast every single week. It's an awful lot of fun on Thursdays, so do check that out. It's a retro review of Battlestar Galactica. Also, check out Drew's stuff, when he does High Heresy and things like that. And, of course, all of the stuff that he does over with Bounding into Comics. Beyond that, guys, I'm going to end the show the same way I always do, which is be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, wash your hands, of course, because it's good hygiene.
wash your ass.
And until next time, bye.
Remember...